Hey guys! So today I'm going to speak about how to use Photopea. The first thing you're going to do is type in Photopea up here in the URL, photopea.com, and it's going to take you to this page. So then you're going to want to tap New Project right here. And I usually set mine to 300 dpi, and I usually use transparent, but for illustrative purposes, we're going to use white today. And then you're going to want to press on or click on create. So we're just going to wait. Okay, here we are. So today I'm going to teach you how to use a few tools that I usually use, and I hope you find this video helpful. So here we are. Let's start simple. Text. So over here is text. Stick around to the end of this video for my extra tips and if I recommend this. Okay, so you kind of just make this rectangular thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to want to change the size of the font up here before you start typing, because if you do type with this size, it's 24 pixels. Let me show you. You won't be able to see anything. I'm just going to type something like Photopea. Photopea. Okay, and then I'm just going to select that and I'm going to change it just to show you. So do you see it right here? This is the text. It's really tiny. So you're going to want to change the size of the text up here before you start typing so you don't get confused about what you just typed in over here. So let's change it to, for now, 300. And you don't have to type in px right here. Just type in the size that you want. And you can, it doesn't really matter what size you put in here exactly. Like I can also just put 301. It really doesn't matter. It'll just, yeah. You don't have to be precise about it. Just try different sizes. So I want it slightly bigger, so I'll go 400 and see what that looks like. Okay. So if you know how to use Photoshop, this is similar, but there's tiny little differences. So for this video, it's like for people who want to use Photopea or are interested in using Photopea or are looking for an alternative to other graphic designing softwares. And okay, stick around to the end of this video and I'll tell you more about this and who needs to use this and yada yada yada. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to try is the fonts, obviously. So up here, you're going to click on here, the little arrow, and it's going to bring down a drop down menu. Now, usually there's little previews here, but it seems my internet's sort of lagging because I am recording as well. So I don't really know if that plays a I don't know if that plays a role. I just made that up, but I had to blame something. Okay, so here we go. Let's start from the top. Okay, let's just pick a random one to show you guys what the fonts look like. They're really high definition, so let's see. Okay, so here we are. I just changed the font. There's so many fonts to choose from. Let's try another one. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, you can get all types of fonts up there. You can look for regular fonts. You can look for custom fonts that you won't find anywhere else. I don't really know if these are standard fonts, but there are a lot of them to choose from. So let's try another one. Okay. Okay, there are so many, and we're not going to go through all of them. Let's try to change the color of this. Let me teach you how to change the color of your font. So you're going to want to select it, and you're going to go here. Next to the size, you're going to go here. And you can just use this little thingy to slide the little color slider to find the color that you want. Let's say we're looking for green because Photopea is sort of green. It's kind of green. Okay, so you can take this little thingy over here, the color picker, I think, and you can drag it to the exact shade, and you'll see the shade that you're dragging up here. So you see if I go up, it's going to be lighter. If I go down, it's going to be darker. If I go this way, it's going to be more white shades or lighter, I guess. So if I want to go right up here, it will be the pure color. And if I go towards this side, it will be more pastel. If I go down here, it will be darker. And you can just play around with this until you find the color that you want. And you can go up here. You can slide it down if you want it to be more yellow or more blue. And okay, we're just gonna pick there. That looks good. And also, here's another tip. If you go to this little space here, you can take this off. And say, for example, you want a specific color. Today, let's say pastel green instead of just choosing it over here manually. So what you would want to do is go to Google. We're going to open another tab. And you're going to type in color code for pastel green. And let's get into it. Okay, so that's going to show you this. So the color code that you're going to use over here, right here, you're going to take this off and you're going to check the color code here. So there's going to be like this big paragraph right here. You're going to want to look for this number over here or this code. So let's see, here it is. And you're going to want to copy paste this. So you can either right click and then copy, or you can just highlight and Control C and then go back. We don't really need this anymore. So we're going to take this out and Control V here. And that's going to give us the pastel color that we want. Okay, this slightly flopped. I don't know what happened. Let's try again. Ah, there we are. I really don't know what happened. Sorry about that. So now we have pastel green. So those are the two methods of finding the color that you want for your font. And then if you want to move this around, this text, you can go up here and you can just move it around wherever you want. So also, if you want it centered, you can kind of move it until you get that center line in the text. So this is horizontally No, wait. I think this is vertically centered. Yeah. And then if you keep moving, you'll see a little red line, and that will show you that it's horizontally centered. So it's at the exact center right now. Sorry about that. Okay, so now that you know about that, let me show you how to resize your text. You don't have to always resize it over here, but although we can, if you want it a little bigger, maybe let's say 600, it doesn't have to be exact. So just to prove a point, let's put it to 609. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna happen sometimes, but it's okay. We can just go back here and we can move it. Always make sure that your designs and your text are within this little, yeah, you know what I mean. It needs to be inside of the shape thingy. I really can't speak today. I'm so sorry. Um, yeah, it needs to be within this white sort of project holder thingy. I'm so bad right now. I'm so sorry. Um, you're gonna have to forgive me. So the next thing you're gonna want to try out over here is resizing it with these little resize points. So what I usually like to do so that the font doesn't kind of change shape or like, let me show you. So we don't want it stretched out like weird like this or like really strangely and like out of proportion, right? I mean, you could if you wanted to, but for me, I like to keep the font and the shape really natural looking instead of like this. This is sort of hard to read. And I find that if you really want to do it like this, you could just change the font size. So you're just gonna tap it a couple of times until it highlights, and you can change the font size up here. You can see that now that I've stretched it, it's 1851 pixels. So let's unstretch it. Let's go to 300 again. And yeah, it's not always accurate, so sometimes 300 will be slightly smaller or slightly bigger. You just kind of have to play with it. So let's do 400. Okay, so let's undo all of that. Okay, there it is, back to original. So what I like to do is if I want it bigger, I usually go to this top one. You can use this one or this one or this one or this one. So the diagonal little tips here. And then I click on it, and as I'm about to pull to resize it, I'm gonna hold shift, the shift key. And that's going to make the font bigger while staying in the correct proportions. And then I can center this again. Here we go. Okay, another thing that I wanted to show you guys is the shapes. So down here, this is just a basic video about creating text and shapes. That's usually what someone who's trying to create a graphic or a logo would want to use. So I didn't want to go through every single detail of these, but let me know in the comments if you want me to do a detailed video of Photopea and how to use the different tools, and I'll make a video on that. Make sure you subscribe if you do comment and say that you want detailed videos about all of these tools. And yeah, put the post notification on maybe, and you'll get a notification when I drop a video on those. So here we go. There's rectangle, there's ellipse. So ellipse is basically just circle. I know a lot of people know that, but for some who don't know that, that's what that is. There's a line, there's parametric shape. This one kind of just has different sides. It's sort of like hexagons, and then there's custom shapes. So let's get into it, and let me show you the different shapes. So there's a rectangular shape. Maybe you want to sort of put your text in like a rectangular shape. So let's make it a different color. Okay, I don't really want any of these colors. They're really boring. So let's go and change it. So you're just going to tap here and maybe drag a color. Let's see. Let's make it look pretty. Okay. Okay, let's do purple. No, purple doesn't really go with green, does it? Let's do yellow. So there's my yellow. That's a really pretty shade of yellow. And so here's your rectangle. You can obviously reshape it after, and you can just make it however big you want. So then this is your rectangle. Say you want to, for example, put your text over the rectangle. How do you do it? You're just going to go to the layers, make sure it's selected, layers. So this is my shape. This is the rectangle that I just made. As you can see, I can move it around, but I cannot move the text. If I try, only the rectangle will move. So you're going to go to layers and you're going to click on your text, whatever you texted or typed in. It will show here. So it'll have the little T sign, and for this example, I typed in Photopea. So it says here Photopea. And then there's an extra one that's blank, so we're just going to get rid of that because it's probably nothing. You're just going to press the delete key on your keyboard to delete these things if you don't want them. But make sure you click on the one that you don't want before you accidentally delete the wrong one. So moving on. So this is my shape, and I want to put my text over my shape. But in order to do that, we need to click on the layer that the text is. It's not the shape, it's the text. So now, whoa, what's wrong? So let me show you what's wrong. Now it's showing at the back of the shape. We want the text to be at the front of the shape. So we're going to go back to layers, and we're going to drag the text over the shape, or the shape under the text, whichever works. Okay, so now the text is on top of the shape layer. Let's try. Wow, okay, now it works. Wow, that actually looks really cool. But for the purpose of this video, we're not going to leave it outside the borders. We're going to resize this. You're going to hold Shift, and you're going to drag it in at the diagonal point, however big you like. You can make it smaller, bigger. It's up to you. Okay, I want to end this video with showing you how to merge these two layers so that when you move the graphic around or the logo, it will move simultaneously together. So this is how you're going to do it. So if you're happy with where you placed your text and you want these two layers to be moved as one, if you want to maybe center these things together and maybe say there's another element, let's add another element, maybe a circle. We're going to make a strange circle just to kind of show you. Okay, let's change the color. Let's not be boring, shall we? Okay, let's get us a nice red or pink. That's a hot pink. Okay, it looks pretty good. And then we're going to go up here, selector tool, and we're going to move it up here. And maybe center it. Okay, it doesn't want to center right now. I can't really get it to center. Okay, we're just gonna maybe put it there. Or let's be unbasic. Let's put it there. You can also put it under, maybe on top, middle. Okay, we're gonna put it on top of P in Photopea, just for fun. And then when you're happy with the way everything looks and you want to move everything all at once, maybe say to the center over here, maybe you're making this for your client or for yourself, or maybe you're doing some type of content creating and you want it to look nice and centered, you're going to want to go here back to the layers, and then you're going to click on all of the shapes except the background. And how you're going to do that all together is you're going to hold the control key on your keyboard and you're going to click all of the layers that you want to move all together as one. Okay, so I have the little pink shape, I have my text, and I have my rectangle. Next thing you're going to want to do is let go of your control key on your keyboard, and you're going to want to right click on your mouse. It doesn't matter which layer you click on right now, but it has to be one of the layers. And then what you're going to do is go to either merge layers or convert to smart object. Now, let me show you both options. I really don't know how it's going to react today, but sometimes when I use merge layers, it will turn all of my text and all of my shapes to one color, and I usually don't want that, obviously. So I usually use convert to smart object, and that will also merge everything, and you can move all of your little components all at once. So both of these work, but let me show you the difference. Okay, so today it didn't change everything, and yeah, here it is. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to play around with it. See which one works between those two. So let me show you the other option, the convert to smart object. So we're just going to go Control Z to undo this, and then once more to unmerge them. So then I have my three layers selected. We're just going to right click again, and we're going to go to convert to smart object. And we're going to click that. We're just going to wait for a second. Okay, here we are. Okay, so that also worked. As you can see, I'm moving everything around all at once. So this is the smart object. So you can also center that. Let's center it. Okay. So that is how you use some of the little tools in Photopea, and that's basically the basics. So if you want me to do more demonstrations of how to use the different tools again, maybe you want me to teach you how to use the different shapes here, we can go through that and I'll show you how to transform shapes and all of that and make custom shapes. So maybe I'll do that in my next video. You can go ahead and, oops, I don't know why this did this. It seems that my little shape over here turned to yellow. I might have accidentally clicked something to cause that, but yeah, that's how you do it. And I think that's all for today. And if you want more, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends who might be graphic designers who need help, or maybe you like the video if you found this helpful. And yeah, that's all for today. And finally, I'd just like to review Photopea for you guys and tell you who needs to use this and what I've experienced, etc. So Photopea is really easy to use. Once you get into it, you just kind of have to play with everything and find what works for you. It's free. You don't have to make an account. I mean, you could, but I haven't ever made an account. So you don't have to make an account. It's totally free. It's online. I use Google Chrome. It works really well. Okay, I realized that I didn't show you guys how to save this to your computer. So the way to save this to your computer is just like any other. You're going to go to File, you're going to go to Export As, and as you can see here, you can save it as different, what's the word I'm looking for? Formats. There we go. Image formats. So we have PNG, we have JPEG, we have SVG, we have GIF, we have PDF, and there's more. But these are the basic ones, so you're not really gonna need these right now. Those are a bit more advanced and for different things. Okay, so usually for high definition quality pictures and graphics, I would save it as PNG. If you don't have a lot of space on your computer, you're going to want to save it as JPEG. You can also save it as a PDF if you really want to, but it's really not necessary. So I usually use PNG because I like all of my graphics to be high quality and I do have the space for it. So I'll save it as PNG, but if you don't have enough space, like I said, you can use the compacted version and it'll work just fine. The graphics might be slightly lower than PNG, so just watch out for that. So we're going to save it in PNG. We're just going to click on that and you're going to wait for a second. Sometimes it does slightly lag depending on your internet speed. So I guess that's the only downside, but it generally works quite smoothly. Okay, so here you can change the dimensions. You can also still change the format up here if you accidentally click the wrong one. As you can see, they're all here, PNG, PDF. You can change the width, you can change the height, you can change the quality. I don't really mess with these things, but if you really need to, you can. So you're going to save it right here. And that will save it to your computer almost instantly. So here it is. And just to prove the point that it actually works, I'm going to open it and show it to you in my computer. Here we go. So open. We're just going to wait a few seconds for the picture to open. Here we are. It's opening. I really don't know what's wrong with my pictures on this computer. It takes a second. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. It's loading. Okay, so here is my graphic exactly the way I designed it in Photopea. As you can see, it's high quality. Let me zoom in and I'll show you. So it's really high quality. As you can see, there's hardly any pixels. It's really amazing. I highly recommend Photopea for any graphic designer. If you're away from home, if you don't have your laptop, you don't have your programs, you have an access or you have access to a computer and the internet, you can just go online to Photopea and you can create a design for free. And the nice thing about that is you can just download it to any computer and you can just flash it out to your flash drive or your USB memory stick. And yeah, it works, it's great, and I highly recommend it. Good luck to you and thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Bye!